the incredible, the fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, come one and come all to a film you've never seen before. But remember, folks, no refunds.
Hello and welcome to No Refunds, the podcast where we watch bad movies so you don't have to. A Cold North production. I am your host, Ben Reynolds, and this week we watched Brad Payton's 2018 film, Rampage. Joining me this time, we have the tenacious Tim Miller.
Why, hello there.
And Patrick, the Law Morris.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Check out everything we have going on over at coldnorthpro.com. And if you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review wherever you found our podcast. And now, Rampage.
It's weird. You like hang out with animals more than people.
Yeah, well, animals get me. I rescued George when he was 2 years old. George never would have survived on his own.
He definitely trusts you.
Last night, George was 7 feet and he weighed 500 pounds. George, you okay, buddy? You're scared. It's okay. This morning, he's 9 feet, pushing 1,000. What's happening to my friend?
Are you familiar with genetic editing? Changes will be incredibly unpredictable.
Is he the only one?
Oh, you didn't know about the 30-foot wolf?
Hell of a day, huh? Science experiments falling from the sky.
Having George on that plane is a big mistake.
I think we'll be all right.
Let's go save the world. It's coming back to me. It's coming back. You have to evacuate Chicago. George didn't ask for this. They're gonna put him down. That's not happening. George!
Is there something in the river?
I was just thinking the only thing that's missing right now is a giant crocodile.
Grr.
All right. So each week, we all take a crack at writing the Google plot synopsis. Then I go and I read all three of our options as well as Google's option, and Tim and Pat try and guess. So here we go. When disaster strikes on the Athena 1 space station, a dangerous biological weapon is launched back to Earth. George, a gorilla in the San Diego Wildlife Preserve, as well as several other animals around the U.S., are exposed to the biological weapon. It is up to primatologist Davis Okoye to find a cure. Then we've got global icon Dwayne Johnson headlines the action-adventure Rampage, directed by Brad Payton. Johnson stars as primatologist Davis Okoye, a man who keeps people at a distance but shares an unshakable bond with George, the extraordinarily intelligent, incredibly rare albino silverback gorilla who has been in his care since he rescued the young orphan from poachers. But a rogue genetic experiment gone awry mutates this gentle ape into a raging creature of enormous size. To make matters worse, it's soon discovered there are other similarly altered animals. As these newly created alpha predators tear across North America, destroying everything in their path, Okoye teams with discredited geneticist Kate Caldwell to secure an antidote, fighting his way through an ever-changing battlefield, not only to halt a global catastrophe, but to save the fearsome creature that was once his friend. I don't think he ever really stopped being his friend, but...
Wow. That was
the thing.
After his best friend George, the white gorilla begins to grow at an uncontrollable rate and becomes increasingly aggressive overnight, Davis springs into action along his journey. Davis teams up with scientist Kate Caldwell and FBI agent.
FBI agent.
Harvey Russell to seek out the truth of what happened to George, all while trying to stop a 40-foot-tall trio of a gorilla, wolf, and alligator from destroying Chicago. Will Davis be able to make it in time to save his friend and the city, or will the world pay for the mistakes of corporate greed, ending in all-out rampage? And finally, Davis Okoye... I'm just going to ignore the typo. Chief primatologist at the San Diego Zoo is in for more than he bargained for when mysterious canisters start to shell the U.S. after a space station explosion. These canisters hold a substance known as Rampage, which can cause genetic mutations with the added side effect of extreme anger and rage. George, a gorilla and a close friend of Davis's, has been infected, and now Davis must search for a cure before there is no one left to stop it. So, I wonder if you guys can guess which one was Google.
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say it was number 2.
That indeed was good.
Yeah.
That's like the weirdest Google plot synopsis I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was like that one just sounded so, I don't know, corporate almost.
Yeah, that's just a very weird, like, this is by far the longest we've ever had. And it also is weird that it like talks, it like has the whole like, it's like they stole like the tag from like a review of it almost.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Like a newspaper. It's literally like, it's like the description of it that you'd find in a newspaper, I feel like, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird. Yeah, well, this was not our best work either.
No, it was not.
I mean, to be honest, we only wrote these just 5 minutes ago.
Hey, I did too. All right, so this time it seems like Google probably went ahead and fucking plagiarized somebody. And
way to go, Google.
Dicks. I don't see you guys crediting anybody on that review, and it's clearly written by somebody else.
Yeah, Google's never been that succinct.
Bastards. All right, well, let's talk about this movie's plot a little.
Well,
what did you guys think?
Wait. Don't we have to guess who's?
Oh, I guess. I mean, if you guys want to guess who's, I guess the main thing was we guessed which was Google's.
Okay. So Google's was number 2. If I can go first, I know I want to go first every week. It's because every week I feel really confident.
All right, go for it.
Tim was 1, Google was 2, I was 3, you were 4.
You think that I would have put typos in my own?
I was thinking maybe he's trying to throw me off. Maybe Ben is playing 4D chess.
Nope.
No,
I'm just really bad at spelling.
Tim was calling him David instead of Davis.
It's an easy mistake to make. I didn't know his name throughout any of the film. I just considered him The Rock anyways.
Also, Ben.
I actually have a note that is, The Rock isn't really a character or isn't really ever anything but The Rock in movies.
It's just The Rock. But Ben, fuck you for not reading Dwayne The Rock Johnson in mine. God damn. Give the man some clout.
Well, I don't read those in fucking Googles.
Ugh, I expected
Google
it
puts
to
them
be
in
read.
almost all of them, so I don't read them.
Damn it.
Like, if I had read Googles with that, I would have said Kate Haldwell, Naomi Harris.
Okay,
Gorgeous,
okay.
by the way.
But yeah, I don't read those.
All
if
right,
it's in
fair
parentheses, it doesn't get read. Yeah, I felt like mine was pretty awful. I
feel like they were all pretty awful.
But I think that the reason that they were so hard to write is that this movie didn't really have a plot.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I'd go as far to say that the plot was incredibly simplistic, which is why they all sounded very similar.
Yeah, it was just, well, and it was too, like, it was just weird, like a very bizarre plot. I kept finding myself, and we'll get back to that when we talk about how bad it was and when we get to the questions. But yeah, it was just so one of the first notes that I have actually is I do really like The Rock interacting with the apes. And I was like, do you think that they were like, well, Rock, you're the size of a gorilla, so your co-star will be one?
Well, then it could have just been Brock Lesnar. Rock and Brock.
Oh God.
They could have had Brock do the mocap for George.
Yeah. Didn't they call him the Vanilla Gorilla in the UFC?
Maybe.
I have no idea.
I'm not positive. But then my note right after that is Rock should have plowed the hot grad student.
Oh my God, I know.
And she totally wanted it, too.
She wanted it, and she is up there as one of the hottest chicks in all of these movies that we've watched.
You have strange
taste.
Yeah, like she's hot, but not close to the hottest in all of these movies we've watched.
Who's hotter, Neela?
Neela and fucking my girl.
Oh, you got to give it up on Alicia.
Dude, Alicia Vikander is so fucking hot.
Oh, you got to give up on her.
No way. Dude, there have been a lot of, and like, it's also crazy to me how hot you think Malin Akerman is. I think Malin Akerman is probably the third hottest chick in this movie.
No.
Naomi Harris is way hotter than Malin Akerman.
Malin Akerman is a babe.
She's hot, but she is not as hot as Naomi Harris.
Oh man, you're sorely mistaken. Like this is
I'm bent on this one.
No, I will not back down from this. This is just an agree to disagree situation. Oh man, Malin Akerman is a babe.
Not denying that she's a babe, but Naomi Harris is hotter.
No. Oh man.
I keep hearing you say no, but what you really mean is yes.
No. I'll find some pictures.
She's way hotter in Watchmen.
Oh my God, was she hot in Watchmen? Same with Rock of Ages. She was so hot in that movie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that what's his name was also hotter in Rock or in Watchmen.
Patrick.
No, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh man, I totally forgot that he was the comedian.
Yeah.
Well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was also hotter in Watchmen.
Well, I mean, he is an attractive dude, but who's more handsome? Do you think, Jeffrey Dean Morgan or the other, what's his name? The guy who got killed so fast in this movie.
Guy who got killed so fast?
The one that got eaten by the wolf?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Magnolino or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely Joe. Joe's a snack.
They're both handsome dudes.
Oh no.
I don't feel comfortable talking about this.
Joe is a snack for sure. That dude is handsome.
Tim's the only one who's not comfortable with his sexuality, I guess. Nope.
Well, Tim also gets uncomfortable with the nudity pretty regularly, so psh.
Yeah.
Were you uncomfortable with the fact that George was nude throughout this movie?
The entire time.
I was okay with that. He's a monkey. He deserves it.
Fair enough.
He's gorilla, but like the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's move on to the questions. And so for each film we go through, we'll revisit these 6 questions to lead our discussion. The first question is, how bad was it? Pat, what did you think?
Not bad. Like, honestly, pretty okay. And like, I enjoyed it throughout the entire thing. And then as we were approaching the climax, I was thinking like, man, it's amazing to me that they took that. Like, this is maybe the best video game movie there is. And it was really as simple as like, take a game that has no story and give it a little story and then just make it a spectacle.
All right. What did you think, Tim?
So I didn't love it as much as Patrick. I liked it. It was all right, but I wouldn't say I liked it enough to say it wasn't bad. There was, like he said, barely a plot, so there was barely enough to keep me involved. It was just big monsters, Godzilla-esque destroying another city, which is why I actually liked it, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Not 98, because we all both know that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was... Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think we're kind of all in fairly... We're all in pretty close to the same page, I'd say. I thought that it was not awful. I said it was 2/3 a pretty good movie, and it had pretty cool action sequences for sure. But like, I felt like the first third was pretty awesome. Then I thought that the second third was awful.
Really?
Terrible. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the stuff with like the military base and whatnot? Yeah,
exactly.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. Because that's when they started fleshing out all the Energene stuff, and I thought that the Energene plot felt like it belonged in a kid's movie. I was like, why are they even arresting the Rock?
Oh,
that didn't really make sense. Like, there was just like a whole lot in the second third of the movie that was just like, what the fuck? And I don't know. And that I kind of hated the Energene plot. I thought it was super cheesy and literally felt like it was like in Spy Kids.
Well, yeah, and so absolutely, I agree with you. The villains of Malin Akerman's character and
Pete from The Office.
Pete from The Office, thank you. That's what we'll refer to him as, because that's what I thought of him as the entire time.
His name was Brett.
Pete from The Office. They were so unbelievably over the top that it's like,
I thought she wasn't as bad as him, but oh god,
like they seriously must have been like, I mean, they were just shy of just twirling a mustache, like, we're evil.
Like, basically, they looked like Jim Carrey in Sonic.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't meant to be like that.
No, and it felt so out of place in the movie because the rest of the movie was all seemed so serious. It just, that was the thing that I think I really like
Took you out.
was the worst part of it for me. So we're into the second question, which is what made it bad. And I for what I literally wrote down was all the energy / Wyatt and stuff. It just felt like it was from a different movie. They felt like bad guys from like a Get Smart type of movie, which I've said basically, like I've talked about like 4 other movies that were similar to Get Smart, like Spy Kids, fucking Sonic. Like, yeah, it just they felt like they were supposed to be like comical bad guys, and it was just like, this movie is seemingly trying to be serious with all the Rock stuff, which I really thought that the Rock stuff was great. And like, that's what I was saying, like which I know it was just a CGI character. I mean, I guess there was somebody doing mocap, but
the connection was great.
The chemistry between The Rock and George, and then the other monkeys even too, just there was genuine chemistry, which I was kind of shocked by how much chemistry there was. Because
that's really hard to act opposite of a CGI character. And for the CGI character, like when George kept flipping off Davis, that was hilarious to me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like a monkey flipping someone off, that shit's funny. That's timeless funny. Like farts are just always funny.
So true. So true.
But
what else do you guys think made it bad?
I mean, aside from the villains that had no point in being there, other than to give what was her name?
Kate.
Yeah, Kate. Her reason for being there.
Yeah, to give her character motivation.
Well, and that she was also pretty underdeveloped. Like she just kind of,
of the 3 main characters, she was the least compelling, I would say.
Hey, wait, that's a question. Let's not go there yet.
Well, okay, I'm not going to say least compelling. Of the 3 main characters, I think she was the least developed, and she was the weak link for sure.
Yeah, I thought so. Because it was just kind of like, they showed the one flashback with her brother being sick, but like literally our introduction to her was just like, she's waking up late and we didn't even know what job she was going to.
Yeah, I was for a really long time, I was under the impression she still worked at that company.
Same here. And then I was like, but she's like a fucking really like big time geneticist, and she's just like missing work.
Yeah, like late to work. Like, and it's like, if you're that big a deal of a geneticist, then like, it's okay to be late.
Nobody's going to give you shit about being late for work.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of stuff there that I was just like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What did you think about that, Tim?
Her entire story was bogus. She created this gene to help her brother, and every time she made a breakthrough, they decided to just use it for more garbage work. Like, I don't feel like she was needed to be there. Like, they could have just had it as, well, I guess I can't say that because they needed someone on the inside to be able to tell them how to cure the damn thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, she was
if the character would have felt more necessary if they had just developed her backstory a little.
Yeah, no, they just reveal it all in one small plane ride, and that's all you get.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I guess we got the Rock's backstory in a similar way, but it's because he's the Rock, and that goes back to that note that I literally wrote. The Rock is kind of always the Rock, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, and also,
I think that's like, so it's like you almost sort of have like an established character because you have the Rock.
And on top of that, I think that it's more acceptable for the Rock's character to not have as much of a backstory or as much of a motivation, because I think that, I mean, obviously his motivation is George, but for him to not have as much backstory because
keeps people at a distance.
Exactly. And had they given him backstory, it would have taken away that mystique.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I think that's a character that you want to restrict the information on.
I wish they hadn't had him keep that fucking hot ass fucking grad student at a distance.
Oh man, she was a babe.
That pissed me off. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I would I would jump at the opportunity.
Brienne Hill
Absolutely.
is her name.
Yeah, she's definitely hot. Definitely hot. I also feel like they definitely underutilized the guy who played PJ Byrne, who played Nelson.
Oh, at the very beginning.
Like he's like the kind of funny scientist.
Those two, the Brienne Hill, Amy, and the funny scientist. Those are characters that I was really expecting to stick around, and they were just gone. Like they didn't even come back at the end.
I figured that Nelson, Connor, and Amy, which Connor sucked, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah, fuck Connor.
But it would have been interesting if they had stuck around, and it was a little disappointing that they didn't, because I do think that PJ Byrne could have added some probably needed. And maybe that's really why the plot, like, now I'm just like thinking about this, and I'm like, well, so there, to balance the serious stuff that was happening at the fucking military base, I guess maybe they were like, well, let's just have the Widens be funny. Even though there are bad guys.
Yeah, maybe. And like that just, I mean,
which
that
just seems like it would have been way smarter
characters.
to just have like extra characters get arrested too and go to the military base and be funny.
Especially, like, that would have given, even if they had just had them, like, be arrested separately and had them reunite with Davis and Kate at the military base as they were escaping, like, and then go along with them. I think that having that dynamic of more of a cast of characters rather than just, like, 2 or 3 heroes would have given the characters like The Rock and Kate more to work off of.
Yeah, especially with the way that Jeffrey Dean Morgan just kind of popped in and out.
Yeah, he came in and out at his own leisure, and like don't get me wrong, I like that character a lot. I think he was really cool, and I think he was played really well. But yeah, he just came in and out, and but like, did you see Jumanji 2?
No.
Yes.
It's not called Jumanji 2, though. It's just called Jumanji.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle. That's what it's called. Thank you. But yeah, so Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle is technically it's a sequel to Jumanji because they do reference Alan Parrish in the movie. But they like that movie is.
Don't spoil it.
All right, I won't spoil it. That movie has a pretty solid cast of characters. Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, or whatever her name is. Gilliland. They're all great. And they all give each other something to work off of. And there's a lot of really good dynamic throughout that whole movie. And had they given The Rock more to work with, like the Amy character being like just absolutely smitten head over heels, like schoolgirl crush on a teacher type thing with The Rock, and The Rock just constantly like not noticing, that would have been funny. Having the Nelson and Rock relationship, that was already funny in that scene. Mm-hmm. And having the Connor character be so fucking annoying and such a douchebag, like it all could have added and contributed and made the dynamic of the characters much, much better throughout the whole movie.
Exactly. Maybe if they ever make a sequel, we'll see. Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
So next question is, which character was the worst?
So just going out on a limb here, was it Pete from The Office?
Yeah, I think it was.
Was he the one that
That's
got
who I wrote
crushed?
down. Yep.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
It's unanimous for the first time ever.
Yeah, he was a
and
whiny good
we
for
aren't
nothing.
even fighting about it.
No, he was pointless. He was a whiny good for nothing. He added nothing to the plot other than just to be that.
And he felt out of place.
Yeah, that he was just that bigwig that had no idea what was going on in his own company. Which made no sense.
I feel like he was miscast. Like,
oh yeah, he felt way out of place. Like the not only the character but the actor felt way out of place in this movie.
Yeah, Jack Lacey should not be doing movies like this.
Jake Lacey, but also
Jake Lacey. Sorry,
to put like he's not bad. He's not a bad actor, but to put him opposite of Malin Akerman, who I think Malin Akerman is actually a really good actress. They should have put someone like with more clout and more chops opposite her, so that again she had more to work off of.
I wish I had found some casting what ifs, because it would have been interesting to know who else was up for that role.
Yeah, and honestly, like maybe something as simple as just having Jake Lacey play the Joe Manganiello and Joe Manganiello play the Jake Lacey character. Just switch.
Or maybe even Connor.
Oh,
Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid could probably even play that better than
Jake Lacey. Sorry, Jake Lacey, if you ever hear this. Nothing personal
like you.
against
I really like Pete from The Office. He's a great character.
Yeah, but man, he did not get the ending he deserved.
No, he did not. He did not.
But no, but like I think switch those roles. Have Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is play Brett opposite of Malin Akerman, and have that dynamic be there. That could have led to funnier moments, and I think would have been much more fitting of both actors.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Well, and then I think it would have almost have Brett and Claire almost switch their roles within the roles.
Oh, yeah.
If it was Joe Manganiello or whatever it is, if it was him have him be the more sadistic evil one, and then have Malin Akerman be the one who's just I was just trying to get rich.
You can't, I was just here. And I maybe don't even switch the roles, but because they were brother and sister, right?
Yeah.
Have some sort of, and this is going out on a limb, so let me know if I'm way out there, if I'm way off, but maybe have some sort of weird, sexual tension between the two that's just making these very awkward moments for the audience.
Incestuous overtones.
Yeah.
That might be a little, it's funny in a
very gross way.
Blades of Glory. It's
yeah.
funny in Blades of Glory, but I don't know if this movie...
They couldn't ham it up as much as they did in Blades of Glory.
Yeah, and I feel like it's pretty necessary that you have to be able to ham that up, or else it's going to just seem really uncomfortable.
Really weird.
I don't feel like it would have worked well at all in this movie. Especially with, it's a giant gaijin, just dinosaurs stuff, destroying...
Doesn't need an incest component.
Yeah, you don't have room to ham that up to the degree that it would need to be. But also, that's a porno that I would watch. Just saying.
Weird.
Is there a porno you wouldn't watch?
There are a lot of pornos that I would not watch.
Are you not into the miniature man porn, where they have an action figure that they
what the
pretend is a real person?
Hey, welcome everybody to Ben's porn review.
I've just been told about those. I've actually never seen.
Oh yeah, I just I read it for the articles.
The funny thing is that actually is true. One of my friends just told me about how there's this giant porn.
Jesus.
And I thought it was hilarious that when I heard it. I haven't looked it up, but thought
That's
that was
pretty funny.
All right, so let's move on to our next question, which is which character was the best / most compelling? I kind of think we might be all in agreement on this one as well.
All right. You go first then.
On 3. Let's all say it at once.
All right.
1, 2, 3. The Rock.
George.
Oh, shit.
It was George.
It was definitely George.
I don't know.
George had an arc. He was a victim, and he overcame and had redemption at the end. He was funny. He was relatable. Like he was a very endearing character.
And
he didn't have the Rock's coolness / charm.
Yeah, but he made the only sex joke in the movie, so.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. When he looks at The Rock and Naomi Harris, and he starts doing the finger in his hand. Oh, man. Or the poop, you're a piece of shit.
Yep. You look like a piece of shit.
Oh, man. That was...
Yeah.
George was just so funny. But The Rock was amongst... So The Rock was the best human character, no doubt. But that's also sort of like, you're... Actually, I don't even know. Maybe Harvey Russell.
So Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Yeah. I still think George is the best. I'm going to fight for George as number 1. But I would say maybe even Jeffrey Dean Morgan was a better human character because he did have that conflict, and he did have I think he played Mystique better than The Rock did in this movie, and he was cool. He was almost an anti-hero.
Davis had the really cool backstory. He had incredible chemistry with the gorillas, namely George.
Okay.
He had The Rock's coolness / charm. And he overcame his need to keep people at a distance by developing a relationship with Kate. He kept his relationship with George, and chances are they're going to team up to fight crime in Rampage 2.
Okay, you've convinced me that he was better than Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but he wasn't better than George. George was great. He faked.
I did like George.
He was definitely the best character.
The scene where he made him think he was dead was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Because that was such a typical moment for a movie like this. And then when he wakes up and he's faking dead and he's just laughing at The Rock, genuinely just laughing his ass off at him. Oh man. Monkeys are funny. It's an easy go-to laugh. Like I said, farts and monkeys flipping things off. Monkeys are easy to be funny.
Well, you guys already have the majority, so I guess we have to go with George.
We were close to unanimous that time, though.
It's true.
Yeah. One of these days, both of those questions will be a clean sweep.
Someday. So was it so bad it was good?
I don't think it was that bad to warrant it needing to come back around to be good.
Yeah. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
It wasn't good, but it was okay, and I enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
and especially I don't know how much you guys have played the games, but I remember playing the Rampage World Tour on N64.
Yep,
and that. What I remember about that game is, wow, this feels a lot like an arcade game, which at the time I didn't know, but turns out Rampage is an arcade game. But what I remember about that game is climbing up the side of a building as a giant wolf and just punching a building until it falls down. Hanging on the side and just punching a building. And they nailed it. It's amazing to me that That's so silly and so stupid. But they put it on the big screen and they made it work and they made it really enjoyable.
Definitely.
And so, like, in the moment, like, it's nothing to write home about. But in the moment, it's fun.
Absolutely. Very fun movie.
Yeah.
Would it have been better as a Netflix/HBO series? No. I
Definitely
don't think so.
not.
Nope.
Yeah, I would not need that.
Yeah. I mean, I would,
all.
like you've alluded to, I would like to see a sequel because I primarily would like to see a sequel because of the chemistry between The Rock and George. And if they could replicate that and bring it back for us for more of that, especially.
Well, and they do have a world created, so that's.
Yeah. And especially with George not being evil.
Well, and in my forgettable bullshit, I was reading somewhere that apparently, in that first scene when the chick is grabbing the samples, she's only able to grab 3 before she bails, and there's like at least 5.
Oh, that's right.
Claire says the canisters were designed to be able to come back into the atmosphere. So in theory,
there's a lot more of the virus left.
In other places potentially.
Interesting.
That was I can't remember where I found that, but someone speculated that could be a possible.
Well, that's a fan theory right there.
Yeah, that's a fan theory.
That is a fan theory if I've ever heard one.
But I did also read some interview with Brad Payton where he talked about how there is an established world and he wouldn't be opposed to doing a sequel, but it did not say anything about if there was a sequel in the works.
I mean, I would really like, I don't want to see this as a Netflix series because I want to see this with the big budget of a movie and I want to see it on a big screen. But I don't want to see it as Netflix or HBO, but I do want to see more. Definitely want to see more.
All right. Well, that brings us to burning questions. And my first question is, why didn't George get DNA from other animals while all 3 other animals exposed to the
the other 2
Rampage? No, all 3 others.
No, there are only 2.
Exhibited traits from other species. No, there was 3.
What are they?
A rat, an alligator, and a wolf.
There was a giant rat?
Yeah, in the space station in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm on board with you now.
George did, though.
What other DNA did he have? He
He got like that advanced healing thing. I can't remember. Like, they mentioned it briefly. I can't remember what kind of animal it was, but
the other ones all got like, the alligator had fucking tusks.
Yeah, and the wolf had like porcupine spines that he could shoot out.
And it could fly.
And it could, he could fly.
That, to me, that was dumb because the wolf couldn't fly in the fucking game.
No, he couldn't. But
alligator didn't have tusks in the game.
But I did think it was like, he couldn't fly in the game, but I did think that was actually an incredibly gamey moment that wasn't based on the game, where when he flies, the Rock is just like, the wolf can fly. Of course. Yeah. That was funny, and it was smart.
Yeah. But it still just seemed weird that like that George didn't get anything from like another animal that like exploded out of his body, like porcupine quills or tusks or maybe like a fucking. Well, it seemed like the alligator had all kinds of stuff going on because it had like almost like the fucking like tar spitting lizard from fucking
Jurassic Park
things on it, and then like the alligator was just like. It's almost like they were like they just made it initially they made it like a really big alligator, and somebody's like, give it more tusks.
Yeah,
and they were like, let's actually give it a little like flare thing too.
They just I feel like they just kept coming back with the alligator, and they like kept like coming, and the designers were like, give it more. Okay, this is good, but give it more. And like the alligator, I feel like was over designed.
Absolutely.
Whereas the wolf, I think, was very, very well designed. And Ralph the wolf and Lizzie the gator. But
she's not named Lizzie in the movie.
She's not. But I think that George was maybe a little bit under designed, like you said. But I think that Ralph was kind of perfect, and the gator was over designed.
Fair enough. My next burning question: is this what Elon Musk is up to in space?
Maybe.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, with that guy, you never know. But like, if there's ever going to be someone that like turns into a cartoon villain, it's going to be Elon Musk. And honestly, I'm really excited for when it happens.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Like that, I'm definitely psyched for having a front row seat to that. I was born at the right time.
Save me, Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if there's going to be anyone that's like becomes real life Iron Man, or like real life Pinky and the Brain, or like real life Dr. Robotnik, it is Elon Musk. That dude is insane.
You're not wrong.
So, do you guys have any burning questions?
Why didn't they name Lizzie? Like, they went to they were paying homage to the source material, obviously. And so they went to the extent to name Ralph, but why didn't they name Lizzie?
Because Lizzie was barely in the movie.
They didn't know about Lizzie until it popped up in Chicago, scaring the shit out of everybody.
So that takes me to another one. Why did they wait so long to bring Lizzie in?
For the drama of it.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already a pretty crowded movie as it was.
Yeah.
Monster-wise, I don't think it was crowded.
I mean, it was just like, okay, we only have 2 to deal with. Oh, shit, here's this gigantic third one. We're absolutely fucked now. It was meant to escalate that risk factor.
Yeah. Here's one that's even worse than the others.
I thought it was pretty dope when George broke off the tusk and stabbed the alligator with it, though.
Oh, that was badass.
Fucking amazing.
And when George did the jump to stab the alligator in the head.
Yeah.
Through the eyeball.
Oh, so cool.
Any other burning questions?
Yeah. Why is it that I have a sunburn when I wore SPF 50 today?
Well, I don't think that's related to the movie.
It's a burning question. I'm burning right now. It hurts.
I have a question. Why wasn't there... Because I stayed... So I liked this movie enough that I stayed for all the credits.
I fast-forwarded through the credits just so I could see if there was a stinger.
Yeah. So why wasn't there a John Cena stinger?
I would have... Well, I mean... I don't know. That reminds me, I forgot to ask our...
Oh shit!
The new question.
Yeah, you're adding a new question.
We have a 7th question, which is: would this movie be better with John Cena? And I don't know that it would.
Oh man, I think put a John Cena stinger in there to hint at a sequel featuring both The Rock and John Cena. 100%. Yeah, I'm in.
I don't know if I need both The Rock and John Cena. And also, because it's a more serious role, and John Cena has not really been good in more serious roles. I like John Cena in funny stuff.
Pop John Cena in the Jake Lacey role and have him play it the same way that Jake Lacey did as like the whiny little bitch. That would have been hilarious.
But then the whole movie becomes a kid's movie.
Yeah, but I guess I'm okay with that. Because I don't think that the dynamic of the villains bothered me as much as it did you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would have been better with John Cena.
I don't think it would have been.
All right. Well, let's move on to forgettable bullshit we found on Wikipedia and sometimes IMDb.
Sometimes.
So for this film, the budget was $120 million. I also actually found the marketing budget for the film was $140 million.
Oh, wow.
It's a worldwide marketing budget. Opening weekend in the USA, it grossed $35.8 million.
That's pretty
in
good
the
showing.
USA total, it grossed 99.3. Worldwide, it almost grossed $500 million. It grossed $426.25 million.
So they're probably making another one.
Yeah, I would say that number to me suggests like basically $430 million against a budget of $120 million and a marketing budget of $140 million is not bad. It's not actually incredible, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I think that one thing that maybe would get in the way of them making a second movie is like there are the very rare cases, like with Endgame, where it's like a sequel, like the first one was so hot that the sequel is guaranteed we're going to make even more money. But the vast majority of movies, sequels actually see fewer and fewer, like are able to hold less and less of the audience.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., yes. And so like
But this movie did the majority of its outside of the U.S.
But I guess that I think that the principle holds worldwide of like, you know, if it's not just an absolute showstopper like Infinity War was, then it's like, yeah, some people are going to come back for the sequel, but some people aren't. And
didn't we just do the Fast and the Furious movies?
We did, and but I think that
didn't they keep making more and more money each time?
Yeah, but like again, I'm coming back to exactly what I'm saying is like I think that those movies are ones that I would consider absolute showstoppers. So like look at where those stand on the on the box office rankings all time. They're like The Fate of the Furious is in the top 10 all time, isn't it? Whereas this would be nowhere even close to the top 10.
Yeah.
And so I think that comparing something like this to something like the Fast and the Furious has incredible box office power. And this, I think, does not. This is more typical. Fast and the Furious is the exception.
I don't know. I say throw a sequel in China, and I bet the Chinese market eats that shit up.
I would eat it. I would eat it up too.
Exactly. Well, so this is the third movie that Peyton and The Rock have worked on together. They also worked on Journey to the Mysterious Island and San Andreas.
Did you see San Andreas?
I saw neither of those movies.
Okay. I heard San Andreas was pretty bad.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. So Warner first acquired the rights for this film when they bought Midway Games for $33 million in 2009.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. The film was shot primarily in Chicago and Atlanta.
Okay.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, it looks... I like when a movie is shot in Chicago because Chicago is a very photogenic city.
Definitely.
And Atlanta, not as much, but it's also not as distinct. So it's easy to present Atlanta as like, just like, you know, large city number 57 type thing. And so that's
and
like,
there's also sound stages and things in Atlanta too. So you
exactly
can do because Atlanta is the second like biggest like film city in the U.S. So
because they get like really good tax breaks there and everything. So it like this movie looked good. I mean, it wasn't nearly And I know that we keep going back to Gotti, but like Gotti was shot in Ohio, and it was like, yeah, this is very obviously Ohio trying to make Ohio look like New York. But this movie looked good, and I think that it's interesting to hear that it was shot in Chicago and Atlanta, because that's probably why.
Yeah. So Weta was used for visual effects. Weta was used in
Troll 2.
Something else we did. What? No, it was not Troll 2.
I know.
I'm blanking on who used Weta, and what other movie that was that we talked about that used Weta.
I'm trying to think of the movies we've done recently, because I remember you talking about Weta recently.
Yeah. Obviously Weta is the visual effects company that was started by Peter Jackson and used for it was Indiana Jones 4, wasn't it?
No, I was thinking it was Daybreakers.
Oh, you're right. I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was the Australian one. I think you might be right on that.
It was Daybreakers. I remember you mentioning that.
But
no, it wasn't.
Oh, interesting.
I just went to the script.
For Daybreakers?
Yeah.
Was it Indiana Jones?
Definitely put it in the script.
I thought that they used I could have sworn they used I guess rejected orc costumes or whatever for like those underground guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It was that.
Yeah, it was Daybreakers. Anyways, continue.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, yeah. That was part of. Yeah, sorry, that was in a different part. Yep, you're right. Good call.
Daybreakers, not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're from they're the company that Peter Jackson created and used in Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. They were also used in King Kong, as well as Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes, which made it a lot easier for them to create George.
Yeah, they have a lot of experience with monkeys.
Eric Winquist actually even noted that in creating George, it took them a lot less time than it would have taken them like 10 years ago because of the experience that they had with King Kong and all of the apes movies.
King Kong is not a popular movie, but I really like that movie.
It's just so long.
I liked it. But I'm also a sucker for Peter Jackson, except The Hobbit.
I enjoyed The Hobbit, and I enjoyed King Kong. It's just so long.
It is really long.
So the release was pushed up from April 20th, 2018 to April 13th to give it more room between the film's release and Avengers Infinity War, because that film was, it got pushed up too for some other reason.
Interesting.
George and Ralph both share the names of their game counterparts. Lizzie is the name of the gator or of the crocodile in the video game, but she's not mentioned in the film, and it's actually an alligator in the film. And the rat is based on Larry, who was a character exclusive to the Atari Lynx.
Oh, wow. That's a fun fact. That's interesting.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So Larry was exclusive to the Atari Lynx version of the game?
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually really cool.
And at one point in the film, in the background, you can see George pull a person out of a building and eat them. And that was an option in the video game to gain health for your character.
It was. I remember doing that.
And George eats Claire, and she's wearing a red dress. And you also were able to eat women in red dresses from buildings.
Yeah, I remember doing that. That was pretty cool. That's actually, those are some deep cuts. Larry the rat and, eating a woman in a red dress. Those are some deep cuts. That's, some nice homage right there. I appreciated this movie before, but I appreciate it more now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our discussion of Rampage. But since we don't only watch bad movies and TV, let's talk about some of the stuff that we have genuinely enjoyed watching lately. Pat, let's start with you.
So Jillian was nagging at me to watch that new Zac Efron movie. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
The one about Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to watch that.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what it's called. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
What did you think?
It was good. It was interesting. I would say it was good. Like, it wasn't great. It was honestly, I would say it was okay. It was okay. But he did a really good job of portraying Ted Bundy. But overall, the movie was just very, like, it didn't have much of a real arc. It didn't have a real, like, you know, a rise and then a climax. It was just very straight all the way throughout the entire movie. There were some moments of excitement, but that was pretty much it.
Fair enough.
But I would say it's on Netflix. Definitely watch it.
Right on. Right on. What about you, Tim?
So I've gone back and I'm watching through MASH, the classic TV show, again. Ooh. Very,
nice.
very good show. If you haven't seen it yet, I mean, yeah, it's like 40 years too late, but you might as well get on it.
Yeah.
It's a damn good show.
Yeah, it's true. It is late, but might as well.
And I think those older shows have aged a lot better than, like, newer shows that we've seen. Like, I think that, like, Seinfeld, still fantastic, still super relevant. Whereas, like, if we were to watch Big Bang Theory in, like, 20 or 30 years, not good. Not good. But, and so MASH, like MASH, Cheers, Frasier, Seinfeld, all just aged really like a fine wine.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would probably disagree with you about Big Bang Theory.
Probably,
but
yeah.
I personally would not disagree with you. But I mean,
but you're just you're just devil's advocate a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there would be people who would disagree.
Yeah.
Me personally, I have been watching. I've been kind of going back through some of the older Avengers movie, or not Avengers, just Marvel movies in general. I went back to Iron Man 3 and Civil War, and actually after I talked about how good Winter Soldier was last week, I watched that. And it was because God, that movie is so freaking good. Like, oh man, it's just really damn good.
Winter Soldier is good. I remember watching Iron Man 3 in theaters, and immediately I was like, yeah, I really liked that. And, like, I remember the sentiment around it at time of release was, like, people didn't like it. And even now, I don't think people really love it. But, like, I still think that's a good movie.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a good movie. It's just, like, it's a way different storytelling style than any other Marvel movie had been to that point. And maybe that's partially why people didn't really like it.
Yeah, and I know that people weren't a fan of the Mandarin twist.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I thought that the way they played it was really funny. And
I also do love Ben Kingsley. And so, like, getting to see him in a funny role was also fucking awesome. Like,
yeah,
it was just, it was fun.
It was just, I think it was way less straightforward. A lot like Whiplash was just this very straightforward, like, sinister presence, like very ominous. And that's what Ben Kingsley's Mandarin was portraying. And then to give us that twist was like, oh no, this movie is definitely different.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, yeah, that's I was also, it blew my mind how I literally did not remember anything about it when I was like, I have not seen this movie since it came out. And I was like, I remember I liked it, but I just don't remember anything about it really.
Yeah.
And then I put it on and it launched into the, yo, listen up, here's a story. And I was like, oh, I totally remember this one now.
That's the one where he has the suit that flies to him in individual parts, right?
Yeah. And when the 40 is, I think it's 43. And at the end, though, it comes back and he's just like, the prodigal son has returned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a good movie.
It's really good. It's really good, definitely. Well, that wraps up this week's No Refunds. Don't forget to check out our incredible website, coldnorthpro.com, where you can see everything we do in one place.
What a great website.
Listen to us weekly on our other podcast about gaming called Hard Reset. And next time, we'll be watching Andrew Stanton's 2012 film, John Carter.
Oh, I've seen this one, and I actually liked it, so
oh god,
this is going to be good to see it again.
See you next time, and don't forget, no refunds.